What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color. Playing as Oranos. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the red color. Playing as Odin. We haven't seen this very much. His name is Matreiuss. The map is Oasis. Oasis is the map. Yes. Odin versus Oranos on Oasis. Anything can happen here. Not seeing that great hunt just yet. We do have the double Ulfsark start from Matreiuss at the very beginning. We don't normally see Matreiuss on Odin. Generally is a more Greek-sided main. He loves his Poseidon. He usually plays some Zeus. And we haven't seen a lot of his Norse until fairly recently, to be honest, but he was originally a Norse main, at least a Loki main, I believe, or a Thor main or something. He played a lot of Norse at some point, so he does understand them, as we do see the Great Hunt being used on top of the giraffe over here to get an extra giraffe. This seems like a very low amount of food for a Oasis here. If we check out what we've got 3 giraffe. Unfortunately, their Matreiuss missed out on getting up to 5 giraffe there, I believe, because it's 3 giraffe start. So he should have been able to convert 2 of them or something, but only got 1. Anyways, we'll see how this game's gonna go here. Matreiuss long distance wood chopping. I still hate this. I still think this is like super inefficient. You don't necessarily need this food here. You could just take these villagers off, put them onto this palm tree as well when you need the wood, or just before you need the wood, and like get everything you need. I think that this long distance wood cutting here starts to hurt you just a little bit with Odin. It's a little bit of inefficiency, and I see a lot of Norse players doing it, and I still question why it's still a thing. Anyways, game continues. So we're going to see exactly what Matreiuss is going to come up with here. So we do see some more goats getting found here by Kimo. He's got himself 8 goats, 9 goats at the moment. With these 2 as well, becomes 11 compared to Matreiuss, who's got himself 10 goats, 11 goats himself. And some of those were great hunted as he comes back ready to throw the temple down. Still looking for something over here. He's trying to sneak this goat back. We do have a spicy oracle that's sitting here as the Ulfsark does spot these 2 goats. And he's going to try and bring them back home with his Skraeling here as well. Straight past this Oracle, there is nothing the Oranos player can do to stop these goats from getting in here. So you just simply have to attack the Oracle, and the goats will never go the wayside of Kimo. And the game continues as we see an ox cart and dwarf coming in. Kimo did get himself his economic guild. He did get himself hunting dogs. He has moved over onto this hunt. Would be surprised if he can't manage to get a 430 here, though there is a world where he does not get up to the 400 food because he didn't take off these units onto potentially a goat here. So he might go 435-ish or something, depending on how fast the rest of this food is going to come in. So yeah, he probably should have killed one of those goats and eaten that instead of going up to 130 resources there or something. But we do see Prometheus coming in, so no real surprises. Temple is up. Final dwarf coming through for Matreiuss, and he does click up through Freya. So no surprises. Heimdall in this matchup feels a little bit useless. There is a world where you can spam walls here and try and prevent the raids and prevent all the early aggression that the Oranos wants to put on if you just spam walls everywhere, but it does slow you down quite a bit to do so. And you also don't have the favor straight away for safeguard. Anyways, nonetheless, villager just kind of no idea where she's going, but we'll return back over onto the berry bushes. Nice. Very good. As the lull before the storm begins, we will be seeing Matreiuss moving up to potentially grab Pelt of Argus. +6 line of sight is actually decent for cavalry-based civilizations. There's also the Fetters of Fenrir, which, funnily enough, on Oasis is actually a decent relic to pick up just because of these monkeys. It allows you to come and gather from the monkeys very efficiently because it's only one shot to kill them instead of a whole bunch. But that being said, that's all the advantage you can possibly get. And that's that is what it is. Anyways, a little bit of long distance gathering here as Matreiuss does fix that one up. And imagine forest fire will not happen in this game because Matreiuss had a very low imagination for what his forest fires could potentially do in this game. So we do see the Promethean here defending his hunt as the giraffe is almost finished. Another dwarf coming out, raiding cavalry coming through. No, Ulfsar coming through to start with here for Matreiuss. We'll see if it's going to work. He's getting himself husbandry. There's not going to be a whole lot of stuff that he can attack. So I'm not sure about going straight in onto those raiding cavalry. A lot of the times we're seeing a lot of Norse players and Odin players in particular going raiding cavalry and throwing axemen with a couple of Herso mixed in as well. So we'll see how it's going to go. More villagers popping out of the town center. Ulfsarks are just hanging around, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for something to happen here. And the question really does become here. We see 7 dwarves on gold, and this is the prime amount normally for Herso production or maybe for raiding cavalry production. But for Ulfsark production, you're going to start floating some gold and probably not be able to afford these gatherers just yet. So you might want to build a couple of dwarves extra just to chuck on goats before you go into those gatherers. But we'll see if Matreiuss can make it work. He does have enough resources now to get himself Lone Wanderer, which is the big technological advancement to allow the Odin players Ulfsarks to beat or at least go even with the Oranos army. And we do indeed see Lone Wanderer coming in. Sometimes we see Lone Wanderer and medium infantry coming through at the same time. So we do see the units now moving through. Matreiuss spots that nicely. You get a whole bunch of damage done onto those medium terma as the wall is attempting to come up here for Matreiuss. 50% of the way through onto his Lone Wanderer here. So he's not actually able to chase these guys down just yet. Retreating away from that wall. I would have thought he would have just tried to chuck it up here, but going to wait to see the army actually retreats so he can get a very safe wall up. Nice play from Matreiuss here as Kimo is just kind of doing his thing. He's going to be throwing up a second military barracks as he's kind of seen exactly what Matreiuss is going for, and he can go essentially in with pure Murmillo against the Ulfsark a lot of the time. You don't really want to be wasting time with those terma. Just build a couple of them early and it's completely fine into a whole bunch of farms and villages on food if you can to spam out these military barracks or spam out these Murmillos, I should say. But all in all, the big advantage in this matchup at this point does go the wayside of Matreiuss, though he does have a whole bunch more wood than he probably should have here, so he could have a whole bunch more units or whatever, as we do see the Valkyrie getting chased around here as he's trying to get somewhat of a fight in, as Matreiuss does now come in with those Lone Wanderer Ulfsark. Going to try and get somewhat of a surround onto these units, but these Oranos units are the most slippery of units, as he does manage to pick off one Murmillo there. The army are going to be retreating away. We'll see if Matreiuss can get in front of these guys or not. He's not exactly able to. The Oranos army, while moving at only it's not 4.8 speed. It's going to be at it is 4.8 speed. No, yeah, 4.95 speed. That's a little bit more than 5.28 speed of the medium Ulfsarks. So a little bit less, I should say. So he's not actually able to get in here. He does decide to turn around. He has himself the medium Murmillo. The Murmillo will be coming in. Does snipe off one of those terma here. And now Matreiuss is going to have to make the assertion, or the decision, possibly is a better word, to go in with the throwing axemen to deal with these medium Murmillo. This Ulfsark's living. You can never leave Odin units alive. Oh, he's going for a town center. We don't see this very often because the power spike that comes from a Norse player getting to the heroic age in this matchup is absolutely gigantic. You get yourself Frost, you get yourself Frost Giants, and you get yourself access to Huskar, which are really, really good. You can actually go in with Huskar throwing axemen against the Atlantean players, and there's very, very little that they can do. The Atlantean players can do against that comp. It can feel very, very difficult to beat that composition as the Atlantean player. You kind of have to go in with some sort of cavalry in a way. but you don't want to most of the time. And then even if you do that, then Ulfsarks start coming back out, and you go, well, I have to keep switching my army around. So Kimo getting pushed back here as this wall is attempting to come up. I love this wall from Matreiuss, boxing in his opponent, but while that's going on, the houses are getting torn down here as Matreiuss definitely needs as much wood as he possibly can get to build farms, as he has basically decided that he is going to be staying in the classical age for quite some time on 2 town centers. The Ulfsar can start swinging around here, getting some damage. Imagine Forest Fire here, just saying. Could have been good. At least would have kept these units away. See the Pelt of Argus dropping here. I wonder if we're going to see any attempt at stealing that one. Nope, not going to attempt to do that. The Mermillo might want to actually just turn around and fight. There's normally retreating with the Oranos army in this matchup is a bit of a mistake. Casting Shockwave there onto those Ulfsarks, you might think it was a really, really good idea. And while Matreiuss is deciding to retreat here, I don't feel like he actually took any damage during the shockwave at all. He probably could have continued to fight as if nothing had happened there, but did decide that was not the time to fight. We see Copper Mail coming through for Kimo. Absolutely love that tech pickup there. And one of the biggest problems is about to come Matreiuss's way in this game, and that problem is going to be gold. He has got 0 gold income, and he is going for a second gold mine. Kimo, let's see if he can actually see what's going on. He doesn't see the gold mine. It could potentially be back here because he hasn't really scouted his opponent, but right now, just sitting under Matreiuss's base right now, getting a whole bunch of damage onto these enemy villages. The Prometheus looks like it's possibly taking the tower fire from the town center as well, as the units are retreating out of here now. Matreiuss is at 114 of 120 population, can build a house, get up to 130 population here. Kimo still 113 to 115, getting himself a second town center. I actually would have liked to have seen some kind of early Thea here instead of the town center, because he would have been able to come over here, prevent this gold mine, put the rest of the pressure over here, Dryads to push in. Would have been really tough to hold that. But instead opting for the town center. And the villagers will be getting pushed off of this gold mine, as Matreiuss is going to be desperately trying to hold everything he can. As we see the third town center now coming up. This is vintage Army Corps style Oranos, and we'll see if it's going to work here against the modern Odin of Matreiuss, doing things we've never seen before. I would have loved to see this wall get fixed up here by Matreiuss, but not thinking ahead here at all. He's going to get out, doing his thing, as Matreiuss is pulling back, and he's going to try and sit on the gold mine as best as he can. But Kimo just doesn't have the units to push through. He's spent all the resources on town centers, so he's currently like down 1,400 resources. Now he's down 700 resources on what he probably could have been, but 1,400 resources could have been heroic age plus a butt ton of Thayan Dryads and some Valiant birds. And we will be seeing the armory coming up now for Matreiuss, as he will be able to get to the heroic age himself, get him the advantage of having frost. And now the army of Kimo is not looking scary at all against Matreiuss, who is just going to be sitting back as best as he can. There is kind of a theory that goes into the Oranos matchup, but it's essentially if you, as any of the vanilla civs, just don't fight the Oranos. Let the Oranos fight you. Take favorable fights with the defender's advantage, and you can get wins where that's concerned. Now, as the Oranos players get better and higher level, they start figuring out that they actually have to force the fights in locations where you are weakest, and then you have to start as the higher level vanilla civ, you have to start restricting those parts of the map where you can actually get attacked. So we do see this wall getting torn down here as the army is moving up to the top side of the map. The Promethean does spot that as the army of Kimo going to be pushing in here, taking down those Herser as well. He's got the Terma in the back to try and take down some of those throwing axemen as fast as they possibly can. We've got Hyperion coming through about 15 seconds behind the Skadi, so that's actually going to be a really, really big helping God power, as we do see the Ulfsar coming in from the back. We'll start taking these fights. Kimo's at 110 of 145 population. The big advantage does seem to be in Matreiuss's favor here, as the Terma getting that damage done. Where is that Frost Giant going to be making its way over here, as we do see the army retreating back? You could cast Chaos now, hit the Frost Giant, hit these units, but I don't think that Kimo has spotted that one. Instead, going to be retreating back. We've got Winter Harvest coming through immediately for Matreiuss. That technology is absolutely huge for the Norse players. If you thought that 20% bonus on top of Hunt was good for just being Odin or getting Pigsticker, well, 20% bonus on top of farming is absolutely huge as well, though this one does cost a little bit more resources. Definitely worth it to rush that one, as well as rushing irrigation. But that does mean that you're rushing it because you want more food. Now, sometimes here in this matchup, you actually don't want more food. You want more wood, you want more gold, you want more hill forts. But right now, Matreiuss is going to be attempting to make this fight happen. We've got some Arcus here. Big Frost getting thrown down here after the shockwave. And honestly, Kimo's not going to be upset about this. He really doesn't have that many units in this fight. He does, unfortunately, get one Citizen frosted. And for some reason, Matreiuss is just, well, I mean, not for some reason. He's decided to take the guaranteed value, as he is over here raiding with a couple of Olsak. But what Matreiuss could be doing is coming over here and hitting this gold mine, but a Satyr is over here, so it's going to start getting some big splash damage and taking down these Olsak very fast. We see heavy infantry coming through for Matreiuss, as well as Kimo has got a whole metric shit ton of gold that I bet you he wishes was going into Dryads right now, as he must be kicking himself for deciding to go through Hyperion. As honestly, it might have been, well, we see, look at this, Frost Giant raids. This is 100% how Odin needs to raid against Atlantean. The citizens cannot escape the Frost Giant. There's not a real good way to deal with that apart from sending over heroes. So he's going to have to send heroes over there to kill this one off. We even see a third town center coming up for Matreiuss. Now, generally speaking, the huge win condition for Norse against Atlantean in this matchup is a good, solid Ragnarok, either with a trade route set up, as we do see the walls getting picked off here before they get up, which is huge. And we do see the Mermilla going to move in and take this town center down, as Kimo pushes this gold mine off. The dwarves retreating back up to the top, could make their way over here. We do see the Olsak going to be swinging around on this location straight through past those citizen here, as all three of those citizens might find themselves getting picked off here, as we do see an attempt at a ghost building, as I mean, he could just be fighting this instead, but doesn't matter. He gets 3 citizen kills here. Very nice play. So we see the throwing axeman getting pushed back away from this gold mine. The Satyr helping out a lot. The Arcus are in. We've got the market up for Matreiuss, as well, as he is going to be attempting to get himself to the Mythic Age right now. He's up on this gold mine. He needs to get himself 1,000 food, 1,000 gold as fast as he possibly can. We see the Frost Giant coming over here to help out against these raids, as the villagers currently getting harassed off that wood line. Nice play there from Kimo, realizing exactly what he needs to do. We see the Toxotes popping, sorry, not Toxotes, the throwing axeman popping out of the town center to fight this one, as the Olsak are indeed returning home here against this fight, as the villagers still getting taken down. Matreiuss is at 69 villages, and he is about to click up through Balder here. Balder has been clicked. We do see the what do you call it? Chaos getting thrown down here to hit the Frost Giant, and when that happens, absolutely huge. The Frost Giant targeted the enemy Frost Giant straight away, which means this Frost Giant is dead. It will unfreeze and get frozen immediately again. I don't think that the unit can freeze back. As you see, it comes out, and we will be seeing a dead Frost Giant here. Nice, very lucky play from Kimo, but nice play nonetheless. We see Jamino coming through for Kimo, as well as fortified town centers, watchtowers as well, as he's going to be getting ready to deal with this Balder. Generally speaking, the best way for an Oranos to deal with Balder is going to be Palace on top of the gold mine. We do see the patented Kimo walls clicked up with no care for how much they cost, because they cost next to nothing. He's chucking them up everywhere here. Does have just a little bit of time to set these all up, as Kimo is losing units left, right, and center. We do see the gold villagers returning back onto this position here. Matreiuss at 121 of 130 population. His market has not built any trade here, so this is going to be as all in as it comes here, and the question of whether or not Kimo is going to be able to hold here is going to be a real question. We still don't see any palaces getting thrown up, though. It is seeming like did we see Hecate cancelled? I think he did cancel it. I feel like Hecate's not the best option against a Balder, as Kimo is just going to be attempting to stockpile as many resources as he possibly can in order to continuously take good fights against this huge Ragnarok that is coming his way. We've got 149 population of 160 population. We've got Matreiuss at 260 population here. So a huge difference in military for just a little bit longer. As again, these units retreat without that wall being finished is very, very sad. The army going to be pushing past this wooden wall here. We do see these extra walls getting finished up as well. Kimo still just kind of banking resources. Did not manage to get this wall up in time, as the heroes of Ragnarok are going to be coming in, getting some big damage done. These Satyr here are feeling very, very useless, as guard towers is coming through for Kimo as well. The army trying to get spammed out for Kimo. He kind of just needs to make Murmillo at this point, but there is a guarantee that these town centers will be falling. I would like to see an attempt at sneaking a gold mine over here or something. One villager making their way over onto a corner and a sky passage to sneak the gold mines can be absolutely game winning for Oranos in these situations, but it's not happening just yet. But it is looking like Kimo has managed to push the army back here. In terms of armory upgrades, we have very few upgrades for our Norse player Matreiuss, and great upgrades for Kimo here. He's managed to get himself bronze weapons, bronze mail here, as this guard tower is hanging on for dear life, as the citizens will be attempting to retreat. We still don't see any sky passages getting thrown up, which makes me a little bit sad, but what can you do? The 4 heroes of Ragnarok will be coming over here to try and take these villages down as well. They do so much damage to these villages. Are not long for this world at all. But Kimo coming in to this location, dealing with these heroes of Ragnarok nicely. 140 of 140 population. Not many resources left in the bank. No longer gathering gold, it seems. But he does have the trade if he wants to. He can sell some wood, make some, get some gold if he needs to. Milo doing some nice damage against these heroes of Ragnarok as the villagers returning back onto this gold mine, getting as much gold as they possibly can. But yet again, Kimo drops down to 98 population. These villagers trying to get as much out of their farms as they possibly can to get as many of those heroes of Ragnaroks out. But Fire Giant is now going to be coming in. This is going to be a tough one, though we probably will be having a potential chaos coming through very shortly. 20 seconds remaining, so 1 Fire Giant not going to be that much of a threat here, as that's going to be able to get dealt with very soon, it would seem, as Kimo is attempting to get back up to pop here, waiting on that chaos. I'm sure he casts it pretty much immediately, taking down another couple of villages over here. Matreiuss does have somewhat of a resupply ability here. He can make villages from both of his town centers. Big chaos on this position here would be very nice. Hit those throwing axemen, hit the Fire Giant, but Kimo has not done it just yet, trying to still get out as many units as he possibly can. Down a lot of gold here as we see the military barracks getting taken down. More units getting built into their barracks and into the away from apparent death, as these Murmillo are going to be trying to push in. Kimo pushes out preemptively here, but he does speed walk those units out of here. Nice play to get them to safety. We are going to be starting to see this fight commencing. Lots of these units still targeting down the military barracks instead of the enemy units. We see a whole bunch of units sitting over here for Matreiuss, not getting involved. Now Matreiuss is starting to get those villages out. Every 14 seconds he's getting 2 gatherers out, which is going to be very, very helpful. Is he building units anywhere? It looks like he's not. He's not getting himself any Fire Giant. Kimo is just going to be biding his time in this game. We'll see how it's going to go, as Kimo is still just selling resources. If we check out exactly how much they've got remaining, it's still decent to sell food for gold, and wood for gold is decent as well. We just see those throwing axemen trying to juke around here a little bit as Kimo retreats back here. He can definitely take this fight, though, I would say. But he's deciding to retreat instead. You have to remember that there's no reinforcements coming, whereas Kimo does have some reinforcements. There is still this fire giant that is here, this frost giant that is here, and this fire giant that is over there. Still no chaos getting thrown down, though Kimo does have the access to that one for a little bit here. Upgrades are still exactly the same for Matreiuss, as Kimo's units are being very, very tanky in this situation. Kimo's population is still dropping, though, as he's still trying to take this fight. Still hasn't cast the chaos, obviously waiting for the best possible way to use that. And in the end, he does use it on this location here. And he's going to be able to potentially win this fight, hitting all the throwing axemen. And now Matreiuss drops down to 46 population. Kimo's dropped down to 61. However, 17 citizen to 14 citizen definitely favors the Oranos in this situation for sure, as these villagers are trying to make a sneaky up onto this gold mine. Is this a fire giant? No, it's not. It is just an Ulfsark here. And these villagers can very simply shank that Ulfsark away if they so choose. But often Kimo is known for not being able to react too quickly to these random raids, but he does manage to do so. And Matreiuss does notice that one, pulls his Ulfsark nicely. As the villagers will be returning back onto the gold. There's a very low HP citizen here that will potentially be sniped. Nice play there from Matreiuss to be aware of that one, as some more units are going to be coming in onto this position. A couple of units of Kimo making their way up here as well to help out, as Kimo is just simply trying to get his economy back into gear. Oftentimes here in this kind of situation for the Oranos, all you got to do is get yourself back up to full population, get yourself 3 town centers, and by the time you do that, you will have the advantage over the Norse's economy, because it just takes such a long time for the Norse to get their economy rolling, and especially with only 2 town centers, no 3 town centers, no good market placed. I've also got some random goats over here in the corner that could be getting eaten. As now we see some military academies getting thrown down by Kimo. Score is still very, very equal. It's seemingly looking like Kimo took a huge amount of damage here, and he does still have to deal with these fire giant, and they're going to be a big, big pest to deal with. Because, well, I mean, maybe if Kimo can get to the Mythic Age, get Lampedes out, then they're less of a pest, which is probably something that he could consider doing instead of building units. Just try and get to the next age. But he is indeed going to be playing it safe here with those extra units. And right now, Matreiuss has got to be kicking himself with this marketplace, man. I mean, if you even just put the market here and was trading to this town center, then he could have at least be spending some of this food that's in the bank. He's got himself 500 food, and that's it. He needs to be getting some gold income, needs to be getting that going up as fast as he possibly can. But we'll see if he's going to make it work or not. Kimo's still taking his time here. He's not actually grabbed his 3rd town center. There is a citizen waiting, though. So we'll get that when he can. As we see these units over here for Matreiuss. Matreiuss is very much preemptively getting this town center. Three citizen on this one for Kimo as well, trying to shoot that up as best as he can. A random sky passage over here as well to help him jump around the map. I mean, after a Ragnarok, you normally don't have any upgrades. But the double fire giant are definitely a deterrent at this point for Kimo. So Kimo's just going to take it very easily here, it seems. There's not really a huge rush. He knows he's got the advantage economically. But if he allows Matreiuss back in to the game, he's going to have his work cut out for him, because Norse does have a stronger late game than Atlantean for the most part. They get buildings up everywhere. It'll be very tough to deal with that. But now look at Matreiuss. He's at 44 villages. He's doubled the amount of citizen that Kimo's got, and even when he was kind of equal before. We do see the Raven getting sniped over here. I really would have liked to see just a little bit more pressure from Kimo, but he is going to be attempting to just get to the Mythic Age, it seems. Just a little bit more resources necessary, as the 3 fire giant are going to be coming in here. Kimo does have himself 97 favor in the bank as well. As we do see these units making their way over here, going to be sniping these guys down. The Sky Passage coming up on this position. We do have the Sky Passage over here. These citizens can make a break for it if they so choose. As he does choose to do that, the Sky Passage will get torn down incredibly quickly as the citizens make their way over onto this large gold mine here. The army of Matreiuss making their way into... the army of Kimo making its way into Matreiuss's base here. Trying to take these Drawn Axemen down as best as they can. We'll see if Kimo can get anything up over here. We do see Heket coming through. We've also got champion infantry coming in for Matreiuss. But Matreiuss is the big problem for Matreiuss is he needs the third town center. The hardest part about playing Norse is your town centers and keeping them alive. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make a big push over there as these villagers do wander up onto this gold mine and start getting as much of that gold as they possibly can. This wall getting finished up for Matreiuss. In fact, not finished up, just going to be leaving it there. So we do see the marker getting taken down. These fire giant are making their way over here as well to take them out. The Tartarian gate is going to be a bit of an issue for Matreiuss to deal with. But with all the fire giant, he should be okay. We do see the army of Kimo pushing past that gate, checking this gold mine, potentially going to hit this gold mine. There are a lot of villagers over here. But this is the only gold, really, the Matreiuss can be gathering from. So you do see these units coming over here to check out what's happening. The champion Torii Axemen do indeed lose to the 2 Momillo, or two champion Torii Axemen losing to 2 medium Momillo. Seems around 2 heavy Momillo. Seems about right. See Carpenter's coming through for Kimo, always known for getting his economic upgrades nice and quick. The fire giant here going to be doing crazy amounts of damage to these units. How many of these are heroes though? He does have 6 hero Momillo in on this position, ready to take these fire giant down. So nice play there to manually heroize those ones as he's trying to take them down as best as he possibly can. Town center over here still trying to go up, but there's not really any citizen here anymore. I mean, there is one. Would be probably a better idea to maybe just throw a palace up over here, be a little bit safer. You see a big shockwave there, sniping 2 fire giant as the fire giant do decide that it's time to turn around and fight. No more running. Take out those satyr very, very quickly. And that is 2 dead satyr, but 2 dead fire giant, it would seem, or just about. The rest of those human units are going to fall as well. So a nice play there from Matreiuss to be holding on as best as he possibly can. We do see the Mythic Age has hit here for Kimo, but he's not casting the Tartarian gate just yet. I actually would have preferred him in this position, possibly to go for Helios. Given it's 30 minutes into the game, you can go Helios and you can get yourself access to Vortex and find yourself in a bit of a better position there, as we do see champion infantry does immediately come through. So as the medium arc is doing as much damage as they possibly can over here. These units sniping down villages. Matreiuss is a 124 of 130 population, still hasn't started his trade route. Tartarian gate onto this town center is a great idea, as we do see the Lampedi coming in, the fire giants making their way back. This is very, very smart from Kimo to get this Lampedi in here to take these fire giants out. He does have to pay attention though, as the Lampedi has been started to get targeted down, but it does not pick it off in fast enough, as this fire giant is going to be in here to help out. And in that moment, Matreiuss decides to give up. Kimo gets the dub, and the Odin of Matreiuss not able to take out Kimo, as Kimo's defense is too good. The Ragnarok seemingly looked as if there was a gold starve imminent, but Kimo able to trade, get the units out, trade nicely, having those extra armory upgrades absolutely carried in their bronze weapons, bronze mail. And you have to know that I think that Kimo cancelled his Mythic Age in order to buy those bronze upgrades. He's probably already had copper and he just cancelled the upgrade, got the copper weapons, produced all the units, got all the buildings down, able to hold, nice hold, and then able to just play nice, calmly, collectively, prevent the third town center coming up for Matreiuss. Had Matreiuss had the market up over here, built, say, 5... or not even 5, like 4 ox caravans while he was advancing to the Mythic age. Then when the Ragnarok died down, after all of that damage had been done, when the Ragnarok had died down, he would have had a ton of gold. He would have been able to produce ox caravans, villages at the same time. And he would have been able to reboot his economy incredibly fast and probably be in a better position, maybe even be able to get this town center back and maybe be in a very, very equal position that is very winnable as well. But unfortunately here for Matreiuss, not able to do it. Kimo gets the win. Congratulations. GG's. It all goes Kimo's way. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.